Hello students, welcome to physics class. Myself is Mr. Sanaullah Khan and CMS Jhabua. In last lecture, last topic, we have taken topic Kirchhoff's rules. We have discussed about it, Kirchhoff laws, Kirchhoff rules and their applications. Okay. Now today's topic is Wheatstone bridge and its application. So before we start this topic Wheatstone bridge, let us just remind the Kirchhoff rules once again, because these rules are we are going to use the same rules here in Wheatstone bridge. So what are Kirchhoff's rules, Kirchhoff's laws? Two laws we have studied about, two laws: Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's voltage law. If we consider this figure here, according to this figure, if a current is just I1 current is reaching from this battery to the particular point D here, I2 current is reaching from here, and their sum will be I1 plus I2 is just going out. Current law, Kirchhoff current law says that at any junction the sum or the algebraic sum of the current is said to be 0. So if we take the junction D here, so at junction D we can say that at junction D the sum of current I should be equal to 0. It means that I1 and I2 currents are reaching at junction D and their sum I1 plus I2 is leaving the junction D. So we can write this law as I1 individually plus I2 individually minus their sum I1 plus I2, and their sum is equal to 0. This is Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's current rule. Okay, it is also called as the junction rule. Again, next rule is said to be Kirchhoff's voltage rule. It says that if we consider any closed loop means if we start moving from a particular point and reaching to the same point, it will be a closed loop. So the sum of the potential difference across the circuit element is equal to 0. It means that the voltage, the sum of the voltage in a particular closed loop is equal to 0. So we say that in a closed loop the sum of voltage is equal to 0. If we suppose that A, B, C, D and A is a loop, A, B, C, D and A is a loop, then according to our direction, when we move in this direction of calculation, we are moving from A to B, B to C, C to D and D to A in this particular direction. So if we are moving in this particular direction, the direction of our calculation, this is the direction of our calculations. What are the rules of solving this? What are the rules of writing the voltage across the circuit elements? Number one is said to be, if the direction of our calculation is this one, okay, we are moving in this particular direction according to the loop, okay, and in the path of this, suppose that the resistance of circuit element falls and current I is also moving in the same direction of our calculation direction, both directions are same. We suppose that the potential difference across the ends of this circuit element V is taken as positive plus IR. Suppose that our direction of calculation is this one, and in this particular case the current is moving in opposite direction of our calculation. We take this particular potential difference across the circuit element as V is equal to minus IR, minus IR. If we take a cell, okay, if we take the case of cell, so if we are moving in this direction and the positive pole of the cell is falling first, then we take EMF of that cell is positive, and if we are moving in this particular direction and the negative pole of cell is falling in the path of it, we take minus E. So according to these rules we are going to solve the loop law, loop rule, okay, that is sigma V is equal to 0 means the sum of the potential difference at voltage in a closed loop is equal to 0. We can follow these rules, okay. Different references will have different techniques of solving this type of law, voltage law, okay. Sometimes in some books or some references, whenever the potential, whenever the current passes through a resistance, then they assume that the potential drop, and due to this potential drop they consider as a minus IR. And when the current is coming in opposite direction of our calculation, they consider that as a positive IR. So different techniques are there. Those techniques are also correct, and this technique is also correct. We will have to follow these techniques according to our convenient, which is easy for you. Okay. So we have, suppose these rules, we are following these rules to solve the loop law or voltage law. So these are the rules for solving the voltage law. So this is about the Kirchhoff's laws, okay, both laws. Now we are going to apply the same laws here in Wheatstone bridge. So let us start the today's topic, that is Wheatstone bridge. What do we understand by Wheatstone bridge? Wheatstone bridge is a device which is used to determine the unknown resistance, and this type of device is made up of combination of 4 resistances. 4 resistances are there. This type of device is first invented by, in 1833, it was invented by Samuel Christie. It was invented by Samuel Christie. 10 years later of the invention, this device was modified and popularized by Charles Wheatstone in 1843. So the name of this device is just after the name of Charles Wheatstone. That's why this device is called as the Wheatstone bridge. Now let us come to the Wheatstone bridge. What do we understand by it? This device is a combination of 4 resistances. You can see the figure here. Resistance P, resistance Q, resistance R, resistance S. Okay, and here one of the diagonals of this device, AC diagonal, it is attached with the external source with the battery here. Positive terminal is attached with the A terminal here, and negative terminal of the battery is attached with C. Another diagonal BD of this device, in this particular diagonal a galvanometer is attached here. Galvanometer itself has its own resistance, which is indicated by G. What is galvanometer? Galvanometer is a device which is used to sense current. Okay, and this part of the device BD is said to be the bridge. Call it the bridge of the device. That's why it is called as the Wheatstone bridge. Okay, now this galvanometer is attached here through BD diagonal here. Now let us see here. AC terminal is attached with the external source battery. Suppose that this external source battery, here key is there, key K is there. Now if the battery has certain potential, means if battery is of 6 volt battery is there is a potential difference across the terminals of this battery. The higher potential will be this end and the lower potential will be this end. So suppose that if 6 volt battery is there, 6 is the maximum potential here and 0 will be the minimum potential here at other end of the battery here. This is the potential difference. Same terminal is attached with C here and A here, and this terminal is attached with the C here. So the potential 6 will become at A and minimum potential 0 will become at C. So there is a potential difference created across the terminal of Wheatstone bridge AC here. Okay, so potential difference is created here. When the current I flows through it and passes through this particular complete network, then there will be fall of resistance, fall of potential when it passes through the resistances there. Higher potential to lower potential. Current will flow from the higher potential to lower potential, and when it passes through the network here, the potential keeps on falling after each resistance there, and at this end the potential will become minimum, that is 0. So we suppose that if I current is flowing, if I current reaches here at terminal A here, there are 2 paths of current. So this I current will divide in 2 parts, I1 and I2. I1 current will pass through the resistance P, I2 current will pass through the resistance R. Okay. When I1 reaches here and I2 reaches here at B and D here, okay, here also there will be some potential or potential difference. There are 2 conditions arises here, whether the potential, there is a potential difference created here or not. If there is a potential difference created here at terminal B and D, then we can say that if potential at B is VB and potential at D is VD, both potential are not equal, unequal. Means VB is greater than VD, then current will definitely flow from higher potential to lower potential from B to D, and that current is called as IG current, current of galvanometer. If VD is greater than VB, then current will flow in this direction, D to B, okay, that IG current will flow. Means in this particular condition, the current will pass through the galvanometer, and this condition is said to be the unbalanced condition whenever there is a potential difference created at terminal B and D. Okay. After that, the remaining current will pass through these resistances, and the same current at terminal C, if we add both all the currents here, we will get the same current, which current is emerges out from battery here. I current is reaching here to A, the same current should come out from C also and enter in the battery again. So this is I current. Here also we can see the I current is reaching back to the battery here. So according to the distribution, if I1, I2 is there, they passes through here. Suppose that this condition arises and VB is greater than VD. VB is greater than VD. Current IG will pass from B to D. When it pass from B to D, here you can see the remaining current. Remaining current is I1 minus IG. It will pass through resistance Q. And when this IG current reaches to D terminal here, I2 plus IG, this current will pass through resistance S. If we add both these currents here at C, what do we find here? If we add both this current I1 minus IG plus I2 plus IG, so minus and plus cancelled, what is left? I1 plus I2, I1 plus I2, it means that the sum of the two currents I1 plus I2 is equal to I. So here from C, the same current I will come back to the battery again. So this is the distribution of current here. Okay. Now one by one we just see the both conditions of this device. Unbalanced condition we have seen whenever there is a potential difference created here, okay, at B and D, current will pass through galvanometer. Suppose that if the potential difference, there is no potential difference at B and D, means VB and VD both are equal. When there is no potential difference at B and D, then there will be no current pass through this bridge. Through this bridge means B to D. IG current is equal to 0, means no current will pass through the galvanometer there. This condition is said to be the balanced condition, and this is only will be useful in the principle of Wheatstone bridge. So let us go through one by both conditions. First we are going to take unbalanced condition, this condition. Suppose that unbalanced condition of Wheatstone bridge. If VB is not equal to VD, that is we can say that VB is greater than VD, then we can say that IG will flow through galvanometer G, means IG will pass through galvanometer G. So in this case we are going to solve the circuit here. So we can apply both laws. Here current distribution is done already. We will apply Kirchhoff's law, voltage loop or loop rule to solve this circuit one by one. We will take first loop here, A, B, D and A, and we will follow this loop A, B, D. This is the direction of our calculation. So one by one both loops we are going to take. Let us see here in loop A, B, D and A again, A to B, B to D, D to A again. I1 current passing through resistance P. So potential here will become I1. It is in the same direction of our calculation. It means that we will take positive I1P. It reaches here. Here Ig passes through G, it is in the direction of our calculation, so we write plus Igg. When it reaches here at D, we can see that I2 current is coming in opposite direction of our calculation and R is the resistance. So we write here minus I2 R and which is equal to 0. This is the first equation according to the first loop in Wheatstone bridge. We can solve it. Okay. Then second loop, see that B, C, D and B we are following this way, means our calculation direction is this one. So see that here B to C, I1 minus Ig into resistance Q. So in loop B, C, D and B again, we can see that I1 minus Ig into Q, positive direction. Here we can see that I2 plus Ig is coming in opposite direction of our calculation and resistance is S. So we write here minus I2 plus Ig into S minus I2 plus Ig into S. Again here we can see that this Ig and G is in coming in opposite direction of our calculation, then we write it as minus Ig G and which is equal to 0. This is supposed to be second equation. So by solving both equations we can get the appropriate current, resistance, voltage, okay, in this particular circuit. These are the two loops we have taken here. We have got two equations here, okay. So this is equations we got by unbalanced condition. If we take the balance condition, what will be the balance condition? Second condition is the balance condition. In this case, balance condition, the potential at B and D are equal, means VB is equal to VD. If potential are equal, there will be no current passing through galvanometer G, that is Ig is equal to 0. Putting the value of Ig in both equations, we can get the equations for balance condition. Suppose that putting the value of Ig in equation 1 and 2. What do we get? Let us solve here. Balance condition, equation number 1, you may see that if we place Ig is equal to 0, this will become 0. So we can get I1P minus I2R is equal to 0. It means that I1P is equal to I2R. Let us suppose equation number 3. See the equation number 2. If we place Ig is equal to 0 here and Ig is equal to 0 and here, this will become 0, Igs will become 0, Igq will become 0. What will left? I1q, then minus I2s, okay, is equal to 0. So if we just transpose it, what do we get? I1q is equal to I2s. This is supposed to be equation number 4. Dividing equation 3 by equation 4, dividing equation 3 by 4, what do we get here? This is equation 3, I1 is cancelled by I1, what is left? P upon Q, which is equal to I2 is cancelled by I2, R upon S is left, and this is only the principle of Wheatstone bridge. It means that Wheatstone bridge says that in balance condition, the ratio of these two resistances are proportional to the ratio of these two resistance. Means according, if balance condition is there, okay, then P by Q is equal to R by S. This is only the principle of Wheatstone bridge. So by using this principle, we can solve the circuits also. Okay, whenever there is circuit is given, we first see only that is there any balance condition in there or not. If P by Q is equal to R by S, then no current will just pass through this. So we will leave this and we can solve the remaining circuit, and we can solve such type of problems related to this. Okay, so this is only the principle of Wheatstone bridge. What are the applications of Wheatstone bridge? So there are mainly three applications of Wheatstone bridge. Meter bridge, number one, post office box, and Carys-Foster's bridge. Carys-Foster's bridge. These are the applications of Wheatstone bridge. So here meter bridge we are going to see one of the application of Wheatstone bridge, and we have got practical also in our portion. Okay, in 12th we have got meter bridge experiment. Okay, so let us take application of Wheatstone bridge, meter bridge. Okay, meter bridge, application of Wheatstone bridge. We can start that. What is meter bridge actually? Meter bridge intro. It is a device which is used to determine resistance, unknown resistance, resistivity or conductivity also, because it is reciprocal of resistivity, we can determine conductivity also. Okay, resistivity is specific resistance, resistance means unknown resistance. We can just determine this resistance, resistivity and conductivity by using this device. It is called as meter bridge. Meter bridge is made up of 1 meter long wire, that's why it is called as a meter bridge. Okay, 1 meter long wire which is made up of constant 10 or magnon alloys. This wire is made up of alloys. Why it is made up of alloy? What is the purpose for this? The purpose is that the temperature coefficient of alloys is very low. Okay, so there will be negligible change in the resistance when the current pass through it. Okay, so it is made up of constant 10 and manganese means alloy, this wire. Okay, so on which principle it works? So principle is Wheatstone bridge. It works on the principle of Wheatstone bridge is the principle of meter bridge. Number 3, if we discuss about diagram and description, so we have got this diagram and description. This is the diagram. Okay, so we can see here this meter bridge is just made up on a rectangular plank, wooden rectangular plank. 3 sides, 2 sides the L shape metal strips are there. At the center also there is a metal strip, brass strips is there. 2 gaps are there. Okay, this is left gap. There is a gap between strip, left gap, and here we call it a right gap. This here brass strip at both terminal, we consider this is terminal A to terminal C. There is a 1 meter long wire made up of constant or manganese attached, this wire, and parallel to this wire we can see 1 meter scale is attached to see the reading, meter scale to see its reading over the wire there. 2 gaps are there. In left gap we place the unknown resistance. We suppose this resistance is P, unknown resistance wire to which we have to determine the resistance. In right gap we can see that resistance box is there. Resistance box is said to be the known resistance. And what is resistance box actually? It is a device which is used to apply the appropriate resistance in a circuit. And this resistance box looks like this one, this type. This is a resistance box, you may see here. Okay, these are the two terminals of resistance box, and there are some keys over resistance box, and different keys of this resistance box has different values. 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 5 ohm, 10 ohm, here 20 ohm, 50 ohm, 100 ohm. Okay, so if we want to apply the appropriate resistance in the circuit there, okay, so we can take out any key, any one key, suppose 1 ohm key. So 1 ohm key, if we take out from the resistance box, 1 ohm of resistance is applied here in the circuit. Okay, so this is said to be the known resistance. We can apply the resistance in the circuit according to our convenience. Okay, so this is about resistance box. It is attached in right gap. Now if you see that from terminal A to C wire is attached, and this terminal A to C is attached with the external source battery. Positive terminal is attached here at A, negative terminal is attached here is C. So higher potential will be at A and lower potential will be at C. It is attached with key here. When we close this key, the current start flowing from the higher potential to lower potential from A to C. Here at the center of this strip, brass strip, at the center galvanometer is attached, and with the help of galvanometer we have got here the jockey is attached. Jockey is a pointer of galvanometer. When we slide this pointer over the wire there, we can see the reading in the galvanometer. It sends the current, and it shows us that whether there is a null condition comes or not. Okay, we can determine the balancing condition through the galvanometer with the help of this pointer. Okay, so galvanometer is attached here. Okay, this is the diagram and description of meter bridge. Okay, how do it works? So we say that working, if key K is closed and current start flowing from A terminal to C terminal there, then we can see that the resistance, unknown resistance P is there, and resistance box resistance R is there. Any one key is taken out from resistance box and resistance is applied in the circuit. Okay, we just start putting the jockey of this galvanometer from A to C. Suppose that we place here jockey from A to C, and at this particular point here G is just we can consider that G shows, galvanometer shows the null deflection. The needle of galvanometer shows the null deflection, zero deflection. It means that the galvanometer is attached with B terminal, and here at this particular point, we suppose this point is D point. Here B and D, the potentials are equal at B and D there. If potentials are equal, it means that there will be no current flow through the galvanometer, and galvanometer will give us the zero deflection. This condition is said to be the balance condition. If we compare this with Wheatstone bridge, this is one of the resistance P, this is right hand resistance Q, and this part A to D is said to be the another resistance R, and this part D to C, it is said to be the another resistance S. So 4 resistances are there, and in between these 4 resistance BD terminals the potentials are equal, and galvanometer is showing the null deflection here. So from A to D we consider balancing length as L. The remaining length of this D to C is said to be 100 minus L. 100 minus L. Why? Because this is 1 meter wire there, and it means that 100 centimeter. Up to D, if there is L length, then remaining length will be 100 minus L. Okay, so in this way we get the balancing condition at D point here. Now since it works on the principle of Wheatstone bridge, we suppose that since P by Q is equal to R by S, P by Q is equal to R by S. P is unknown for us, we have to determine the value of resistance P there. Okay, so we write P as it is. What is Q? What is Q? Q is non-resistance, because we have taken out one of the key from resistance box. Suppose 1 ohm key, 2 ohm key, 5 ohm key. So that is non-resistance. So Q is non-resistance is equal to R. What is R? R means that L, balancing length L. So in place of R we can write L upon S, 100 minus L. we have to determine the value of resistance P. So we can get the formula of P. P is equal to Q into L upon 100 minus L. So by changing the value of Q, we can get the different values of P here, resistance of P here, okay, and we can get the average value also, and in this way we can determine the value of unknown resistance wire from meter bridge. This is the way how to take out the resistance, okay, from the meter bridge. If you want to find the resistivity, a specific resistance, this wire which is attached, it has certain length L, it has area of cross section A, it is resistivity of this wire, material of wire is supposed to be rho. Therefore, if P is the resistance we have taken out, then we can say that according to the formula R is equal to rho into L by A. Okay, it means that we have taken out the value of P. We can write that P is equal to rho into L by A. When we apply this formula and transpose this value, therefore rho will become P into A by L, and this will be the resistivity of, okay, particular wire there. So in this way we can determine the resistance, resistivity, we can find the conductivity also, reciprocal of resistivity will be conductivity, okay. So in this way we can use the meter bridge to determine these values, okay. So that's all for this topic, today's topic. We will continue the next topic in next lecture. Till then all of you stay safe, stay healthy, goodbye, thank you.